Now, my top 10 tools, hacks, and resources. Number 3 is retargeting. This has been on my list for the last 3 years, and it's huge. It's also known as remarketing. Now, what is it? It's a legal way to stalk your prospects, clients, with a message once they either come to your website or come to your Facebook site, Facebook. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say somebody do a search for We Buy Houses companies. And they come up with express home buyers. Now that's an ad, because notice it says ad. Doesn't matter if it was an ad or if it was the website property. But they come up to the site express home buyers and they click on the link. And they go to Brad's site. So they say, do I really want to sell right now? Or the kids start making noise and life gets in the way and they just leave the site without doing anything. So what Brad does is, due to the fact that they came to his site, he inserted a little cookie in their browser. And what that cookie does, it allows Brad to spy on them. So when they go to Facebook, they see Brad's ad. It says, do you still need to sell your house? I know you was on my website. Ooh. Well, they say, oh, that's just a coincidence. They go to ESPN, and they go, Brad again. He's still following them on ESPN. They go to Oprah, and there goes Brad, still following them. Now, what Brad is doing is what you call brand awareness, brand enlightenment. He's keeping that brand name in their mind so that when they are ready to sell, they will go to Brad's website. And then they go to CNN. Lock her up. No, I'm just joking. And they see Brad again. Brad is everywhere. As a matter of fact, Brad could follow them all over the internet for 6, 9, 12 months if he wanted to. How many of you guys go to Amazon and their products follow you everywhere you go? That's remarketing. That's retargeting. That is one of the leading ways to build conversion in your business. Because only 10% of the people will be ready to do business with you the first time they touch you. The other 90% needs to be touched 5, 6, 7 times. That's why Fortune 500 companies are doing that. That's why we're doing it. That's why Brad is doing it. Now, easiest way to get set up for this is Google. Pay-per-click network. Contact Google. They will help you set up your whole retargeting campaign for you on their actual retargeting networks. Campaign is based on what dollar amount you want to spend. You could spend $5 a day. You could spend $20 a day. It's up to you and your budget. So it is cost effective for the person that has a small budget. It is killer for the person that can really spend some money with it. Now, on Facebook, Facebook also has retargeting built inside of their ad campaign. It's called a retargeting pixel. They will give you a pixel that you can put on your website that will allow anytime the person goes to Facebook, they will see your ads. So if they visit your website, they'll see your ads on Facebook. Here's how we use this. And we use it with a twist. Facebook has something called custom audience. A custom audience is an email list of people that you have. That's one custom audience. So we get sellers, buyers, renters who give us their email address. And what we do with that email address, we upload it in Facebook. And every time that person comes into Facebook, they see our ads. That's what's called a Facebook retargeting indoor custom audience campaign. So, remarketing, retargeting, number 3.
Does it cost money?
Bob just asked me, does it cost money? It does, but it's also based on your budget. Your budget could be $5 a day. Your budget could be $10 a week. It's based on your budget.
So that's based on how many clicks somebody click on Facebook?
Great question. Is it based on how many clicks? Yes. They have 2 mediums. One is called per click, one is called impressions. Impressions is measured by 1,000. For every 1,000, it's $1. Clicks are by per click. For every click, it's 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents. It depends on the competitive nature of the keywords that you're trying to rank for your post. Call tracking and analytics. So you have the business up and running. Now that business is up and running, you need to track everything. You need to know how many calls came in from Craigslist, how many calls came in from Bandit Signs, how many calls came in from probate, how many calls came in from absentee owners. And that's where your call tracking and analytics system will come into play. What we use is something called CallRail. CallRail will not only give you a tracking number, but it would also give you a whole metric for you to measure the tracking. It allows you to record the actual message. It allows you to call from the system so that you can call from your tracking number. It has a phone app for your phone, Android and iPhone, that you can download onto your phone. It will give your business that look of a high-powered machine. An example. Everything I show you guys, nothing of this is theory. It's what we're using and how we're using it. These are all the calls that comes into our business. Now we're talking about calls from deals people have to sell, tenant placement, expired listings, vacant properties, and the system allows you to record both sides of the conversation, tells you exactly what the person said in the process. We have a manager, her name is Holly, will even grade the call. I'll give you an example. Is Hilma here? Tanisha? Okay. This is a call that came in. And when you click on that call,
has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 44362785543 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you're finished,
so record that side of it.
or press 1 for more options.
Hello, hi, I'm calling from Birds Along. This is Tori Chucky Bob's Lucky Houses. Purchased this particular property on 1428 North Elwood Avenue.
So that's one of my lead agents. And what she does, she called the person, left a message. It recorded both sides of the conversation. And what Holly would do On Monday, she will come in and grade the call. Okay, it's a thumbs up. The value of the call is X amount of dollars based on the numeration we give them, the actual notes for the call, and so on. So every week, I get a report of all the calls that came in, what were hot leads, what was medium leads, what was cold leads. I got my whole business right there in front of me for my team to work through. Holly is my project manager, and it's her job to go through all these leads and bring everything down to the 100-foot view for me at the end of each week.
The next person screens and only calls people that meet a particular parameter of what you're looking for.
His question is the grade based on the script that you give your people to tell them exactly what level that deal is? Yes, it absolutely is.
Do you have an answering service, or do you give like a live person?
Yeah, the question is this an answering service, a live person? Live people. Only thing we use an answering service for, and actually it's voicemail, is for bandit signs. Everything else has to be answered live in my business. Bandit signs go directly to a voice message. The question is there a difference in the level of closing from high level with a live person as opposed to an answering machine? And the answer is absolutely yes. Each and every one of you, when at all possible, because I know some of you guys work full time, when at all possible, should be taking that call as soon as it comes in. When you get to the level of your business running like a machine, the minute the call comes in, a person takes the call and an offer is made within an hour. That's how your business should be run. So as soon as that call comes in, that person who's handling that lead is actually taking all the information, and either they're giving an offer on the phone, or they're going to call that person back within an hour after they pull the comps and gotten all the information they need in order to make an offer. So we make a preliminary offer on the phone, and then we confirm that offer when we get to the property. If we get close to a yes on the phone to the number we need to be at, we go to the house. I don't want my people going around looking at junk. If the seller isn't close to where we need to be at, why are you going to look at the property? That's how you get burned out as a real estate investor. Going around looking at 500 houses and only 3 of them had a seller that had a price that you could buy. So we get the seller to a number that's close to where we want to buy on the phone, and then we go to the property and close the deal. The exception to that is this. If the property has a lot of equity or is free and clear, then I don't care where the seller is at. I'm going to the house. I'm going to set up the appointment. So when that seller calls and I find out that that property is free and clear or has a lot of equity, the first thing out of my mind is, or first thing out of my mouth is, oh, Mr. Jackson, what time of the day can I come by between 3 and 5? Never ask a seller, when can you come by? You tell them, what time can I come by between 3 and 5? What time can I come by tomorrow between 4 and 6? If you leave it up to the seller, you're leaving your money in the hands of the seller. And more than likely, somebody like me is going to come and get it. Because when that seller gets off the phone talking to you, and they told you you can come by next week, they're going to call me up. And I'm going to ask them what time of the day can I come by. And I'm going to close the house while you're waiting next week to go there because you asked the seller when can you come by there. Take control of the negotiations. That was an early negotiation trick I learned from one of my mentors years ago. And I've been teaching it to my mastermind students ever since. You have to take control of the negotiation process. When you're talking to a seller about buying a house, you're buying a property, not a home. People don't like to sell their homes. Home is emotional. A property removes the emotion. When you want them to fill the paperwork out, you're not asking them to fill out the paperwork, you're not asking them to fill out the contract, you're asking them to fill out the paperwork. People are not intimidated by paperwork, but they're intimidated by a contract. They want to get a lawyer when you say, can you fill out the contract? So you ask them, are you ready to fill out the paperwork? These little things make all the difference when you're negotiating. So, CallRail, great system for you to use. What do we pay? What does CallRail cost? Let me see. Let me find out for you guys. They have a 14-day free trial. No credit card needed. Hey, come on now. Look at that. 14-day free trial. Then after that, let's see what it is after the trial. I mean, I done had it for so long. The bills just come in and it just get paid by the accountant. There you go. The starter plan is $30 a month. The pro plan is $130 a month. And this is what you get. You get different numbers and so on and so on. The starter plan gives you, let's see, a couple of numbers, call recording live, including 10 local numbers. You're just starting out. You're not going to need more than 10 numbers. You get 50, 500 local minutes and 100 text messages. All of that is built into the system. So, call rail. That's absolutely correct. Now the question is, what if you want to use an answering service? You can't take the calls. Answering service I recommend when I ask or have my mentoring students use it is a service called Pat Live. Now I say it with a level of skepticism. And the reason why is whenever you hire somebody else to do the work for you, I believe that no one can do the work as good as you. But you can't scale your business unless you have other people do the work for you. So it's sort of like an oxymoron. Pat Live. The key to working with Pat Live is every week you need to be checking and calling in as if you're a seller so you can see how they are taking your calls. Because they have been known to have one person do the calls for 2 weeks and then a new person comes in and they take your calls totally different than the person that was up to speed with how they answer the phone. So you want to keep on checking with them by calling in, pretending to be a seller at least once a week. But that's a good service that you can use if you don't have time to take the calls or you're working a full-time job. So remember, the key to this business is that when that seller calls you, at that moment, they're in the mindset of, I may want to sell my house. So you can't wait 24 hours to get back to them. Because the minute they get off the phone with you, if they're still in that mindset, they're going to look for another wholesaler or another person that we buy houses company. And they're going to call that person. And they're going to call another person. And then another person. And you got to get to them the quickest. And that means getting them that offer to them as quickly as possible. Ideally, 1 hour or less. So scale your business to the point where as soon as you get a call, you jump off that phone call, you get with your real estate agent, they send you comps, you do your assessment based on repairs, and then you call that seller back with your offer. But remember, if the property is free and clear, while I'm on the phone, I'm going to set up the time for me to go by there to see the property. How many of you guys like bonuses? You like bonuses? Yes. Now, some of you guys already have one of my favorite bonuses. How many of you guys would like to get my exact 100 plus page playbook of contracts, LLC agreements, business plan, scripts that we use in our business, contractors agreements, and everything over 150 pages for free? Well, all you got to do is wait till the end of the presentation. You better get back over there. Make me want to. Okay, Qualifier. For those of you who don't have that budget for a call rail, you could use a program called Qualifier. Qualifier will give you a tracking number that will allow you to record the conversation of all incoming calls. So you can put a tracking number for your bandit signs, a tracking number for your website, a tracking number for your probate, a tracking number for your absentee owner letters. And when that person calls in, as soon as you pick up the phone, it says Craigslist lead, absentee owner lead, probate lead. It tells you where the lead came from. And it also records both sides of the conversation. It also has a text messaging and text voicemail blast system built into it. It's not as detailed or as compact as CallRail, but for those of you who are on a small budget, Qualifier is your answer. Yes. Qualifier, you can buy a number from Qualifier. The number will cost you $3 and $1 a month. So you can have a business in any city, in any country, and it will forward back to your business in Baltimore. So if you want to have a business in Los Angeles, you buy a Los Angeles number. You have a business in New York, you buy a New York number, and it will forward back to your Baltimore number. Vumber is sort of like on the level of CallRail. I like CallRail better than Vumber. Last but not least, when it comes to analytics and call tracking, is Twilio. Twilio is on the same level as Qualifier. So even if your budget is even smaller than Qualifier, you got Twilio. The numbers in Twilio only cost you $1 a month. So instead of paying $3 up front and $1 a month, you just pay $1 a month. That's Twilio. Same situation as Qualifier, but it's not as detailed and complex as CallRail.
You know anything about 8x8?
Never used 8x8. Now, number one, these next two things is what I call sick technology. Okay. The first one is Ad Connect. Someone give me a website address. Let's see. He said RHN, did you say? Yeah, .tv. Let's go there. Let's see what this looks like. Now hopefully we're good to go with, okay. And what kind of site is this?
It's a music channel.
Oh, you give me a music channel. We in real estate, you should give me a music channel, man. Oh, give me a real estate site. We'll come back to you. Okay, this is buyfixsell.com. Buyfixsell.com. I'm sorry, I wasn't more specific. I should have said a real estate site. Okay, buyfixsell.com. I can already tell you right now, this is an investor current site. I hate them. Well, I'm not going to say I hate them because a lot of my customers have investor current sites.
I didn't know about ClickFunnels until today. Thank you.
So the key to this site is, and I'm not going to rail on your site, but the problem with investor current is that everybody has an investor current site. I mean, they're the #1 makers of templated websites, which makes them almost very hard to optimize unless you really know how to do it. That's why I like you guys, because I get a lot of you guys as customers. But let's look at his site. Now, I told you guys earlier, the key to this business isn't reinventing the wheel. It's taking something that's working and rebranding it, retweaking it, and adding your own stuff to it. So let's just say that buyfixsell.com was the #1 site in Google for this category, buying houses in Baltimore. I can go, buyfixsell.com. Okay, add new page. Now, I just put his website in the system. What it's doing is loading up his website, and when it loads up his website, it will allow me to take his website and change it. So I can take his image off there and put my own image there, all his text, and then once I change it, I save it and I can upload it to my website. So I don't have to know anything about coding. You cannot copy somebody's exact site, but you can copy their layout and add your own contacts. Yes. No. Follow.net is just giving you the information about the set, where their keywords is. You're actually jacking their whole website. You're actually taking their website, uploading it to your server, but you change all the information so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I could take that image and change that image to MikeSmith.com. I could take this image, put the city of New York. I could change the color of this box. Copyright infringement revolves around the actual images and the actual words on a site, not the layout. So you can change any of these words that you want and make this site your own and not have to do any coding, and then just upload it to your website.
Where does the data go? I mean, how do you make sure it doesn't go back to their company and not to yours?
Because you're changing it. You're making the link back to your company. You're making the form go back to your form. You're changing it. This is called Ad Connect. Ad Connect. Cost $57. So you use this for landing pages, sales pages, squeeze pages. It's hard to do a whole website because you got multiple pages, but you can do it. But when you're talking about sales pages, squeeze pages, landing pages, this is a charm. When you use a service like Wix, you get what you paid for. They are very un-search engine optimized friendly. There is something to use when you have nothing else and you have a very little budget. That's the best time to use them because you have no other choice. You have no budget. But if you don't have $57, you shouldn't be doing real estate investing. One-time fee. Good question. Would you use it over ClickFunnels and so on? No, I wouldn't. I would use it as a way I'm just getting started and I see a site that is ranking good with sales page or squeeze page and I want to get that up and running right away. I prefer my own look and feel and so on, but that's how I look at that. So for the person that's just starting out, this is great. It's called site jacking, sales page, squeeze page, and there's nothing illegal about it. What makes it illegal? If you take somebody's exact site and you re-upload the same exact site without making any changes. That's illegal. You can link this to anything. That's a button that you can click and have it go anywhere. The number right there, if I linked it, I can link it to wherever I want it to go, another page or whatever. So yes. That's number one. Number two, it gets even better. Let's get this up. Okay, let's get this down. Okay. This program is called FB Group Snatcher. And unfortunately, you can't buy it. So those matter right there, you can't buy it. It's no longer available. But what I'm able to do with this program, I can go to any real estate investing group on Facebook, any group, regardless if it's real estate investing. Let's say real estate investing group. And I'm going to look and find the top groups. And let me look. In fact, let me just say real estate groups, because that's going to give me a broader search. Groups. Okay, this one got Real Talk, real estate investing, Subject to real estate investing, Kansas City real estate investing. Give me a good group, a big group out there. Anybody know any good real estate investing groups? Big ones? I'm trying to find something that had like 10,000 members or something. Investor groups. Let me see what I come up with here. This one right here, Virtual Real Estate Investor Forum. That's not really a big group, though.
You're looking for a RIA?
Say that again?
You're looking for a RIA?
No, just a group.
Like Diversified Investors Group?
How many members they got?
A couple thousand.
Nah.
They've been 47 years.
You say a couple thousand?
I think so.
Now, I'm looking for something with like, well, I'll just do this one. This one got 3,000 members. Now, this one got 5,000 members. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Now, you see where it says members? You as an investor, you want to reach people that are in groups that you want to market to. I could have pulled up any group. I could have pulled up a real estate investing group in Baltimore if I wanted to. So if I want to build a buyer's list, a seller's list, a renter's list, I can go to Facebook groups that have renters in them. I can go to buyers group that have buyers in them. This has real estate investors. So if I want to market to these real estate investors, all I have to do is figure out a way how I can get their information. This little program called FB Group Snatcher allows me to get the members of any group. You ain't saying anything yet. So all I'm doing is clicking on the actual members list now. Now, I'm not going to do the whole, I think it's like 5,000 or something, but I'm not going to do the whole list. And then I click on this Chrome plugin, and it gives me all the email addresses, their names, and information of every person that's a member of that group. Now they may release it again, but the key to this is now you can market to all these people through email, or you can market through Facebook by way of uploading this list into custom audiences, and I can market to them. So how do we market to buyers, sellers, renters? Use that program, pull all the email addresses, thousands of them. And then you have to clean those email addresses once you pull them. This is what I would call gray hat. When we use this on a marketing campaign, I have what's called a house mailing list that's actually on our server. And we'll upload these email addresses to our server, and we'll send these people an email with a link for a free bonus or something, and it puts them into our big account and active campaign. So right now they're not clean because they don't know who I am. But when I offer them a bonus and they click on the link for that bonus, they're saying that they want my information. So that's what you call cleaning them. And that, my friends, are my top 10 tools, hacks, and resources. Now, one more question, one more thing. If you guys want that bonus, my playbook, all you gotta do is text the number to the number 44222, the word 100K playbook. The number is 44222, and the word is 100K playbook. You put that in the message section, you put that in the number section, and you'll get the email that will give you the link for my 100K, for my playbook. Any more questions? $37. Anyone other questions? Nicole?
How do you, if you were to sort of start and build one upon the other, which one should you start with and add? Some of these are, it all needs to, but some of them are more needs to. So where do you
Right.
start and then add on top?
Where I would start off with,
So do you use, what I'm getting at, like do you use Podio as a base and then build everything on top of that?
great question. Yes, every business is going to need some type of contact relationship management system. So yes, Podio can be that base, but depending on your budget, I believe that the first thing you should be doing in your business is marketing. So if you have to decide on spending money for this or spending money for that, my marketing dollar, my money will always go towards marketing first. Because without Podio, I'll do the old-fashioned way. I'll just use a Google spreadsheet until I'm able to make money for a Podio system. So if you're going to ask me what should you do first, marketing. Whatever you do, it revolves around marketing. Then when you start making money, you add on a contact relationship management system, funnels, and so on. Yes, Mike.
You said REI Pro is $49 a month. How much is Podio?
Podio is, they just added a price point to it. I think it's $39, $59, something like that, with the GlobiFlow integration. You can still get the free, but you don't get the GlobiFlow integration. And you want the GlobiFlow integration if you want automation.
Did you look at things like RealFlow or iFlow?
I've seen everything over the years. I've been seeing RealFlow years ago. I just like stuff that don't require me to keep spending money to keep. Podio, GlobiFlow integration, $59. I'm up and running every month. That's it. I don't have to worry about adding something else that they want to add with RealFlow or something this or this crap. I like stuff that I know that I can integrate that is going to be effective for what I'm doing.
It's $59 one time?
Mm-hmm. No, GlobiFlow is, Podio's every month.
$59.
Mm-hmm. That's if you want the paid plan. You can get the free plan. Anyone else? Going once? Yes.
Are you prefer like yellow letters?
Great question, Tiffany. With direct mail, do I prefer yellow letters or professional style letters or postcards? And it depends. High price points, I'm not doing yellow letters at all. High price points, I'm doing professional letterhead style letters. And I'm talking about high price points, everything in Washington, D.C. we do. Professional letterheads and stuff. Lower price points, $250,000 houses or less, I'll do a combination of a yellow letter and or a postcard. So it's based on the price point, the value of the actual properties. Any other questions? Question is, on my direct mail campaigns, where do I point everything to? I use what's called a 3-to-2 push. A 3-to-1 push. A 3-to-1 push is the action that you want the person to take, you put into the actual campaign 3 times. If I want them to call me, I put my telephone number in the letter 3 times, my website address in there once. If I want them to go to my website, I put my website address on the letter 3 times, I put my telephone number in there once. So I use a 3-to-1 push. Most of the time, your highest conversion is going to be when you talk to the person. That's going to be your highest conversion. Anyone else? Yes.
Dunhill for all your mailing lists?
He asked me, do I use Dunhill for all my mailing lists? The answer is no, and I told you about it, I had to kill you. I also use a company called SRDS, Standard Rate and Data Service. It's expensive. It costs $495 per quarter. It gives me lists that most people can only dream about. And what I mean by that, I can get a list with SRDS of people that are absentee owners that are unemployed, had services cut off in their house, that kind of stuff. It's extremely expensive. It's the actual leading list broking company, or should I say list brokers directory in the country. You're not buying a list, you're buying a directory like the Yellow Pages of all the lists that's around the world. And then I can go to those different list brokers and say, this is what I'm looking for. I can put a search criteria in there and it'll pull up all the list brokers that have the criteria that I want. And then I just call them up and negotiate pricing. SRDS, Standard Rate and Data Service. Oh, the question is, do a lot of sellers get multiple mailings? Absolutely. Especially if you're using crap services, and I'm going to call them out, like List Source, Listability, Melissa Data. That stuff is just, let's say 3 years ago, it was great. Right now, every guru who read a book tells people to go to List Source or Listability or Melissa Data. And it's just oversaturated. Their list is not as hot as most what you would call prominent list broking companies. That's the difference. You want what's called a hot list. A hot list is a list that's updated at least daily, weekly, not monthly. So when you talk to a list broker, the first thing you want to ask them is, how hot is your list? Which means how often is it updated? Any other questions? I'm familiar with RealQuest. Didn't like the system. And anything I don't like, I don't use. So I can't really talk about, I can tell you why I didn't like it. It was another one of those systems that they wanted you to buy 15 different other things in order to get to the next level and so on and so on. I like things that I can put together. I'm the kind of guy that loves the challenge of putting a circle in a square hole. If I can make that thing fit, I'm in heaven. And that's what I like to do. I like to put things together. I like complex strategies. How do we do our comps on the house? Just like everybody else. We use MLS. I have access to MLS. One secret a lot of people don't realize, that you can be an assistant to an actual agent and you can get access to MLS if that agent is willing to make you their assistant. So I've had that access for years. We also use a program called Privy. Individuals that don't have access to an MLS or an agent that can give them comps on a regular basis, I recommend them using something called Privy, P-R-I-V-Y. That pulls information directly from the MLS. So you're getting good data just like the MLS. The most important part you're getting is the comment section. Inside of the MLS, when you read those remarks, that's where the money is made at. Newly rehabbed house. Been on the market X amount of days, seller needs to sell. The remarks tells you everything you need to know about the property and gives you a plan in which you can buy that property. That's what most of the systems was missing. Privy has everything from the MLS, including remarks. Yes, Tiffany.
How often is Privy updated? Is it
the guy, Jason Vorak, I forgot his name. Jason, I talked to him before. He said it's done almost every day. I think it's really every couple of days, truth be told, but it's not weeks. It's actual information that as soon as it gets in MLS, 9 times out of 10, you'll find it in Privy within 48 hours.
So you think it would be better just to be assistant with the real estate?
Yes, I absolutely think it would absolutely be better to be an assistant. The question is, Would it be better to get Privy or be an assistant to a real estate agent if you could find one? Absolutely, I would rather you be an assistant to a real estate agent if you could find one. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Let's go home.